I feel that we certainly lost to the best team in this conference. Defense, if you look at it, 55 points is where we want to be with James Madison, but unfortunately we couldn't capitalize and make baskets. Credit to their defense. I think they do a great job, the spacing, and just being very disruptive. So most shots we took were contested. So it was a long night on the offensive end.
Whenever you guys play, it always seems to come down to tempo. And
right.
They had that run where they started pressing, and I mean, was that kind of the difference to you? I think it was like 16-0, and they got in the, seemed to cause some problems.
Yes, I would definitely say that was where they became most disruptive. And just as you said, the tempo. So it forced us to play faster, to get the ball over, and then out of the flow of whether it was a set play or our motion offense. So, they did that a little more down at their place the first time around. And then we actually got better looks today than we did down there, but again, when they're not in the flow of our offense, a little more rushed and then not very consistent.
You've been playing against Kinney's teams for a while.
Right.
Anything stand out about this one? Anything different, new? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I would say defensively. They're definitely one of his better, I'd say his best defensive teams across the board. They are on the same page defensively. They again, the spacing, the space that they take up and how disruptive they are on the ball can be overwhelming. And then I would say just the little things, the intangibles. And it's a stat, I get the rebounding. Burkholder, they recognize if they're not doing something out there, how can they do something different? And I think Kirby, she's a great rebounder, but 22 rebounds, that's tremendous. She had 13 at the half. She out-rebounded us as a team. So they're just willing to do anything and everything to get the win.
Obviously, a tight game there until late in the first half. I mean, still a tight game at halftime, obviously. But coming out in the second half, as you came out of the locker room, were you going to change things? And then you had that early timeout early in the second half. What was going through your thought process at that time of the game?
Well, defensively, we talked about keeping them off the glass. I thought we were forcing them to take shots that they didn't want to. So the adjustment right there was just a matter of effort, trying to keep them off the offensive glass. And then for us offensively, yes, we ran a couple different looks just to get some more movement. The problem is with our we have a couple motion offenses. With the one we were trying to run, it became more of an interchange. When it's a foot race, we're not going to look good. We're not going to capitalize and get open looks. When we set people up and set and use screens, it's a little easier. But when you're missing shots and a little overwhelmed with the pressure, panic sets in. And with panic, you start putting the ball on the floor, not to create, just to escape trouble. And it just continued. It was a snowball, one play after another, just not getting on the same page or working together.
Yeah, all year long I've talked about your team as just covering the CA as one that is a Denise Dillon built squad, but yet one that is still kind of learning the Denise Dillon system.
Sure.
Because of the youth that you have in there. Is that a fair statement? Where do you feel this team is in its process as their head coach?
Well, I think that is a fair statement. We do teach so much of the game, the strategy of the game on both ends of the floor, and when you're counting on your younger players who don't really understand it, and having some upperclassmen who are trying to execute it, you run into a little bit of trouble. When your upperclassmen are not your go-to players, it can get a little shaky out there. It's just uncertainty. Everyone's looking at one another of who's going to make a play. Our better teams were the teams that had your juniors and seniors as your go-to players, because they knew exactly what we were running, why we were running it, and how to take advantage of the defense. Asking freshmen and sophomores to do that can definitely be more challenging.
So you finished fourth in the regular season.
Right.
You make it to the semifinals this year. You must feel pretty good about looking forward.
I do look forward to postseason. When you finish a year like this, that's all you're looking towards, is what can we do in the postseason to get these young players ready to be comfortable and confident in their sophomore and junior years. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the youth, and Megan Creighton, I can't say enough about as a sophomore, and if she can be a point guard and we can find the pieces around her, I think we can get back to a championship game, to postseason play.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
From day one, our mission has been March. Those 4 days in March are the reason for every rep, every sprint, every shot. Every time we step on the court, we dream of stepping on that ladder, cutting down those nets, raising that trophy. In those 4 days, anything can happen. So turn up the music, it is time to dance. Visit CAAsports.com and Ticketmaster.com for more information.